nothing short of incredible. It is what it is, guys. It really is. Thank you for joining me today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. I'm your host, Jeff Phillips, and yes, I've got another cool video for you today. New bow day again. That's right. Complete different animal. The last one we did was the Oberon takedown, all wood bow. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the king of ILF bows. And I'm not kidding you guys. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, this is not a budget bow. It's not. This is a $1,000 bow. Any way you go about it, what I have, that's what it's going to cost you guys. So it's not a budget bow in any means of the sentence. But maybe you're coming over from compound and maybe you want a high-end, super good shooting recurve setup that's really adjustable, that really shoots a lot like your compound bow. Well, this is it. Let me show you what I got, guys. 3Rivers Archery has just stocked a brand new limb. Now, the riser that I'm shooting, I'm going to go over that. The risers have been around. They're absolutely awesome. They really are. And when they're paired up with these new limbs, I don't believe there's an ILF setup like it. I truly don't. And guys, you know, I've had a lot of people say, well, every bow you shoot, you say is the best. Well, you know what? They're all good. They really are. They're all good, some great. Now, this bow here that I got in my hand today, the new DOS 60-inch, that's what I've got. The DOS 60-inch setup. Now, you can get them in a variety of lengths of risers, all the way to a 21-inch. But it's the limbs. We're going to talk about the limbs. What have I got here? You say, Jeff, where are you going with this? What you got going on? All right. 3Rivers Archery has just acquired a brand new ILF limb that is absolutely awesome. And here they are. Clear Burl ILF limbs. Absolutely mind-blowing. Beautiful. Look at those small tips, guys. Look how thin and how elegant those limbs are. Now, these are the real deal. These are real deal limbs. Carbon bamboo, of course, with Burl veneers. DOS. This is the DOS Bows Clear Burl limbs from 3Rivers Archery. Now, these limbs alone run about $300. You can get them in a variety of weights. And what I love about this is because, I'll give you an example. When I was contacted about these limbs, to try these limbs out, I wanted to do a 60-inch bow because I have a 27-inch draw. That's what I personally wanted. These limbs are actually measured on a 17-inch riser. That means, like, my 17-inch has medium limbs, making a 60-inch bow. If I wanted a 58-inch bow, I would order shorts. If I wanted a 62, I would order longs. If you have a 19-inch riser, so on and so forth, or a 21-inch riser, there you go. Short, medium, and longs make various lengths, but they're all based on a 17-inch riser. So in other words, medium limbs on a riser that's 2 inches longer is going to be what? A 62-inch. On a 21-inch riser, what's it going to be? A 64-inch. And that's just running medium limbs on a variety of riser lengths. So you can custom tailor the bow build for any length that you want. It's so unlimited. It's crazy. You can adjust the weight of these bows, plus or minus, give or take 5 pounds. Okay? You really can, just by tiller adjustments. So it's really and truly, you can back it off a couple of pounds or you can add a couple of pounds. Any way you want to go about it to tweak it to exactly what you want. 3Rivers does a very good job of setting these bows up to your specs when you get one. If you're shooting 3 under, what your draw length is, what your weight you're trying to achieve at your draw, they can match it up and get you dead on and actually weight check it for you and make sure it's right. But I'm going to tell you guys the God honest truth about this thing. When I got these limbs, when I got them in, put them on this riser, and I went out and shot it, it was the absolute quietest bow I had personally ever shot out of the box. It truly was. I do not have any of my hacks on the string. I don't have the spider legs. I don't have any of that. All I've got is the puffs. That's it. And this is an 8125 fast flight string. Near zero stretch. This is a high performance DOS 8125 fast flight string. Not even D97, much less a B55. And as you could or could not hear, this bow is just silent. And I mean silent. But it is the most smooth drawing, easiest to shoot of all the bows combined. To me, it truly is. It sets the standard for repeatability in a shot. I've mentioned it in videos before, guys, and I've had a lot of people ask me, they may be having some trouble shooting consistent, especially at some distance. And I tell everybody, it very well could be your bow. It may not be you. It may be the bow that you're shooting itself. And when you get a bow like this in your hand, you realize that to be true. You realize that some bows just are way, way easier to shoot ultra consistently with. They really are, especially with manageable pounds. Now, back to the riser. This is a DOS riser, the Dollar. I'm shooting a 17-inch, and there are multiple grip options you can get with these risers. I'm shooting the low 2.0. The difference in the low and the low 2.0 is this little piece right here is cut off where you don't feel it. You feel like you're behind the boat, if you will. It is, to me, the most consistent grip that they offer. I absolutely love the grip configuration. Tuning this bow is an absolute breeze. Way above and beyond, to me, any ILF riser on the market, and I'll tell you why. Because it has got scribed center lines. And it also has an adjustable side plate. It has a lock screw on the back. Simply take an Allen key, turn it in, turn it out to what you want to do to tune the arrow spine of your choice, okay? Virtually, you can shoot any arrow you want to out of these. 400s, 500s, whatever you pick and choose to do, you can do. I'm shooting 500s out of mine. I had it set just a couple of seconds. It is so incredibly easy. And there's a ramp. This thing has a ramp. And all it is a little piece of Velcro on here for silencing. But it has a ramp where there's minimal arrow contact. And it is right above the throat of the grip, right where you want it at. So tuning arrows to this riser is just incredibly easy. Now, you see the front of that riser? You see these little grooves right here? Those are for your fingers. Your fingers actually lay in those grooves if you choose to. And it is so consistent. You guys, I do a lot of videos on putting pressure on the front of a riser. This one is so natural because I can put a little tiny bit. I can just close these together, put a little tiny bit of pressure, and then follow it with these fingers. Just like that. Just a little tiny bit of finger pressure. And have total control of how this bow reacts. Even with a loaded quiver, I don't have any problem with the bow torquing or anything like that when I'm shooting it. I just don't have that. So it is a super, super consistent bow. Now back to the limbs. Guys, I've shot a lot of ILF limbs in my life. A lot of different ILF limbs from low end to extreme high end. When I got this bow put together and I came out here and shot it, less than 1 second, I knew the first shot, as soon as I released an arrow, drew and released an arrow, I had never shot an ILF limb that was that quiet and that smooth. Never, ever, ever have I felt one that just had that feel to it of all the ILF limbs that I've shot. In other words, I've shot them way more expensive than these are that simply just did not shoot as good because of noise, performance, and these things are fast. Yes, they are. They're like the Oberon in that the overall construction is the same, that carbon bamboo core. Yet these have even smaller limb tips, faster limb tips, no vibration after the shot, zero, none. That's why they're so quiet, and that's why they shoot so good. So what can you do with a bow like this? And a lot of guys don't want a metal bow. I understand that. A lot of guys that are ultra traditional say, man, I don't want any aluminum riser bow. Wood. Wood is great. It's beautiful. It's traditional. Absolutely. Totally agree. But as a shooter and a bow hunter, I am still shooting a recurve. I do not have sights. I am still shooting instinctive. But if you think I don't want ultra consistency and performance beyond belief out of a bow, yes, I do. I want the most I can get. So that's why I like ILF bows. And I mentioned that in the last video, that because they have a little mass weight to them and they're so stable and you can adjust them endlessly. You don't have to go buy multiple bows. You can buy one bow like this and do whatever you want to do with it. And even if you get tired of the poundage range that you have on your limbs, just get you another set of limbs. Go up or go down, whatever you want to. But this, to me, even though it's not a cheap bow, it helps me to understand fully that you truly do get what you pay for. There really is a difference. It's not just to be pricing stuff different. And there again, in the world of traditional bows, spending close to $1,000 on a full setup, that's not expensive. When you're on the high end, it's not, because we're not talking about cheap bows, okay? We're talking the best money can buy. That's not a bad price, especially when a lot of the custom bows are $1,500 to $2,500 these days. And yes, they're awesome. They are. They're a work of art. I totally agree. But I'm a bow hunter, and I want a bow that I have the very most confidence in time after time after time, and I like to develop my own shot process to be as consistent as it can possibly be. So to tell you a little bit more about that, I shot a couple of times a second ago. And guys, 42-pound limbs. This bow's sitting on 42 pounds. Feels like 35 or 6 pounds. It does not feel 1 ounce more than, at the very most, 36 or 7 pounds to me. It doesn't. I mean, it absolutely does not feel like anything. It is so incredibly smooth and so easy to hold. But yet it is a 42-pound bow, and it is performing, okay? So I've got a set of 45-pound limbs on the way, because I know as smooth as these are, I can truly shoot 45 or 6 pounds on a hunting setup if I want to, with even a heavier arrow. And by the way, these are 480 grain arrows that I'm shooting today. These Obsidian arrows, they're 480 grains. And guys, it's magic. I mean, it's just magic. So I'm going to shoot a little bit more for you and show you guys what the new DOS system is like. There again, you can buy just these limbs for any ILF riser that you have. If you just want these ultimate limbs, spend $300. Get the best limb that you possibly can put on your bow, which are these. I mean, flat out, it is what it is. Or you can get the whole system. You can buy a riser, ILF pads, get the string, get it all. Now mine is in Coyote Tan. This is Cerakote. My riser is Cerakoted. This is the Coyote Tan Cerakote version with the scribe center lines. That's what I would get if I were you. You know, they got multiple colors, but I would definitely go with something like that. The Cerakote is going to hold up for a lifetime. You're not going to have to worry about scratching it or touching it up or any of that kind of stuff. It's going to stay. The center lines really help you tune an arrow, because you can look down it. You can line your string up with those center lines and close one eye, and you can see my arrow is absolutely perfect right now. I mean, it just cannot get any better. It's so easy to tune. So I'm going to shoot it a little bit more for you and show you guys what this awesome new setup truly does. It's amazing. We'll shoot the buck on out there. Absolutely. They're so incredibly easy to shoot. Just every time. And I don't mean part of the time. I'm talking about it's so consistent. The grip is so consistent. The draw cycle, the hold, the feel, the way the bow shoots, everything. You can repeat a shot process and it's forgiving. Guys, lots of bows are not forgiving. They're not. Long bows typically are. Recurves, no, they're typically not. This bow is very forgiving. Even if you get a little bit of a bad release, it's almost like the bow makes up for it. It just doesn't, your impact doesn't change much at all. It's a very forgiving bow. I'm shooting a 7.5-inch brace height on mine. You can shoot 7.5 to 8.5. All I'm shooting is 7.5, so it's not a tall brace height. And you see the bow's quiet, and it really shoots amazing. So let me grab these arrows right quick, and I'll shoot it a few more times for you. Shoot this tack driver a couple more times. First day I got it, I shot it probably from that morning till 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. Just couldn't put it down. Just could not get enough of it. Crazy. I flinched and still hit, touching feathers. I flinched. I almost let down, and I went ahead and held it and shot. And it still went in there. Ooh, I seen a feather and a knot fly off that one. That'll be getting refletched. That's the price you pay. Unless you shoot a different target. All right, one more round. One more round. Oh. If you were shooting at a quarter, Joker would hit it. No joke. Inch below it. The bow will do it if the shooter can do it. That's for sure. If there's any variance, it's in the shooter. It ain't in the bow. Like that. Takes both. Bow does its job. You just have to do yours. That's it. Pull through that shot. Just like that. Just, I mean, just destroy a whole batch of arrows. I'm not kidding. That'll get expensive. All right, guys, I'm going to try something cool. See that? I'm going to put this on the buck target out there on the hay bale. And we are right at 40 yards. 38 to 40 yards, okay? Hadn't shot it with a rangefinder, but it's right at it. We're going to see how many of this group that we can put in that with this bow. Hopefully just to show you how much bows of this type can greatly extend your range. Now, I'm not advocating shooting animals at that distance, but in general, it will show you that, hey, a 25-yard shot and even a 30 becomes much, much easier. Much easier. Still, not advocating shooting far at moving animals because they tend to move and cause you to hit them where you don't want to hit them. Nature of hunting. But regardless, and even if it's 3D, this type of bow will greatly extend your effective range. That I promise you. Shooting Instinctive. So I'm going to put this up on there. We're going to fire some and see what we can do. Let's try a 40-yard shot with that little plastic plate I got stuck on there. See if we can lay one in there. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I got to do that again. I got to shoot some more long distance. It's just too much fun. See if I can put a kill shot on that old doe at about 35 to 38 yards, something like that. Let's see. smoked her. Smoked her. All right. Shoot that plate again. Shoot that old plate out there. That's 40. 40 yards. Ting, ting, ting. That's twice. 2 times out of 2 times. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I really have. I really hope you have. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. You can go to 3riversarchery.com, look up clear Burl ILF limbs. The limbs are sold separately. Okay? If you want the package option is being added to the website right now, where you can simply go on and select. See that center line? Scribed. It's got center lines everywhere. Love it. You can select your riser. 17, 19, 21 inch. Any DOS riser you want. And get these limbs. Any of them you want. Any grip you want. They come with the high performance 8125 fast flight string. Amazing string. Now, I've never shot a bow, period, ever, that would shoot a true fast flight. This is a compound string. I have never, ever, ever had a recurve, especially an ILF bow, that would shoot one of these strings quiet. Never have, because they're typically loud. And this one, no, they're not loud. And I mean, they are absolute. These are the alpaca wool. The alpaca wool puffs really do work good. So that's what he sent me, was the alpacas, the 8125 string, the limbs, the riser set up on ILF pads, low 2.0 grip, and of course I'm running a sailway quiver. Got to have my sailway. But guys, I absolutely 1000%, and I love a strap-on because it's so adjustable for any bow. I can move this quiver to any bow that I want, versus a slide-on may or may not fit a certain limb. For the width and the spacing and all that, I like a strap-on myself. Unless it's got really wide, like 1 3/4, 1.5 to 1 3/4 limbs, then a slide-on works wonderful. But if you don't have that, you're gonna want to go with a strap-on, because you can just tighten it as much as you want to, man. So there it is, the absolute king, the king of ILF bows has arrived in my hands. I can't get over it. I just cannot get over it, and I don't want to quit shooting this bow. I truly cannot get enough of it. It's a fact. All it does is just make me work on my process more and more and more and more, make me be a better shooter, okay? That's it. End of story. So thank you guys for joining me. On Instinctive Addiction Archery, I'm your host, Jeff Phillips. I love you guys so much, and we just praise the good Lord today. The good Lord in heaven that gives us all this cool stuff to enjoy, and I am a very blessed man. Blessed man. To get all this new cool stuff and get to play with it, tinker with it, test it, and share it. I do. That's how it is, guys. And I absolutely am honored and privileged and very thankful. And it's a lot of fun. Truly it is. It's like Christmas in August every year, man. Or every month, pretty much. But anyway, guys, thank you. Until next time, I love you guys so much. If you hadn't subscribed, hit the button. If you don't, that's cool too. But we got a lot of videos pertaining to bows and stuff. If you're just coming over from compound to traditional, we got a lot of videos that will hopefully help you in your traditional archery, traditional bow hunting journey. Till next time, God bless you.